stuff. Now, before I let you go, the kind of big news of the moment, which broke last night, although it's been rumoured for seemingly weeks on end now, is that Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr, sons of legends, are going to meet in a catch weight in October. What do you make of it as a fight?
I think it's brilliant. I mean, from a business perspective, well, from a boxing fan perspective, I really want to see it. I really want to see it because I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't actually know. Have they released the details? I don't know the weight it's at.
It just said a catch weight in the press release.
Right. Okay. I don't know the weight it's at, but it's fascinating because they're two tremendous British boxers. Obviously, the dads give it added spice, and I'm sure they'll be very heavily involved in the promotion. But I like the fight because I think it's win-win for both of them, even if obviously someone's going to lose. But if either of them loses, I don't think it will affect their trajectory. I don't think it should affect their trajectory if well managed and promoted. If Conor Benn loses, he's lost to a 160-pounder and he's 147 pounds. If he wins, huge, enormous boost for him. Similarly, Eubank loses, he could be drained at the weight. He could look awful. He could say, I wasn't on my best day. So I think the downside risk for both of them is relatively low. The upside is huge. And going back to what I was talking about at the beginning, huge profile raiser for both of them. I mean, it will be talked about all week. It'll break into mainstream media. It's good for DAZN UK pay-per-view because it's a fight that the casuals will want to watch. So I think it's a genius piece of matchmaking. Maybe boxing purists will be saying, why isn't Conor Benn fighting a proper 147? Why isn't he fighting David Avanesian? You know, why isn't he fighting one of the American stars? And I can understand.
No casuals will be saying that, though.
no casuals will be saying that.
Jesus. Because they don't know who David Avanesian is, to be fair.
Yeah, so it is a very, very good bit of boxing business. That's what that fight is.
And you mentioned DAZN pay-per-view there. I think it's going to be the second show on the UK pay-per-view for DAZN after the KSI show, which is the end of this month.
Yeah.
What do you make of them branching into pay-per-view? Obviously, there was the whole pay-per-view is dead. Since then, they've launched pay-per-view in the US already.
There was someone smashing it with a hammer, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's Canelo, I think. Yeah, but since then, they've obviously launched it in the US. They've had those discussions about why it was necessary. What do you make of it? Is it an inevitable progression?
It's business, just business, isn't it? You know, boxing is a business. There's been very, very significant amounts of money put into DAZN. It's got to run well as a business, and they've looked at the models and they've thought, actually, there's a space here for pay-per-view. Will people pay it? Yes, they will. Can we make revenue off it? Yeah. Is it the right fights can go on that platform? So there are various issues. You know, there's still various issues that remain unanswered about how existing customers feel about having to pay when they were told at the beginning they wouldn't have to pay for pay-per-view. I believe for the KSI fight, it's one price if you're an existing subscriber. It's another price if you're not.
Correct.
I think the original business model, though, was, you know, the Canelo business model was, oh, forget paying this amount of money once. You get everything, but you pay every month. So it's a big change to the business model. We'll see how it works. But it seems to me as though the attempt to change the business model, you know, the existing business model pretty much works because there's a huge amount of money generated by pay-per-view for one-off fights.
Yeah.
And there is a huge amount of money that the public are prepared to collectively pay for big fights. Why would you take that out of the equation? I don't think it makes sense. And I think that's shown now by DAZN going into pay-per-view.
Immediate reaction, who wins the fight? Not KSI fight.
So that's why I want to watch it. That's why I want to watch it. I don't know what the catch weight is. If I knew what the catch weight was, I'd be able to give a more educated opinion. I think for anyone, I suppose your gut feel starting position is Eubank would be the favourite because he's the bigger guy.
You asking me or telling me?
No, I'm saying that's my gut. My position is they're both highly skilled boxers. I think people don't know exactly how good Conor Benn is. I think Eubank's the favourite. I haven't looked at the odds, but I think Eubank must be the favourite going into it. He's the bigger guy. He's the more experienced guy. He's the guy that's probably fought at a high level. So yeah, Eubank.